Here's your, where you mount the splitters and the splitter bulkhead. Same type of thing. Splitter pigtails come off of this. And in this particular FDH, they're parking lotted or staged down here in the front, down at the bottom, ready for when you get that first service order. Then you make your connection from here to the F2 distribution field. And in this particular FDH, the way this thing is set up, and it's a really slick solution for how you got to wire up a building. So each one of these each one of these rows is 12 F2 fibers. So each one of these bulkheads is connected together on the rear to a 12 fiber cable that connects to these connections here. So these are 12 fiber cables. Each one is 12 fibers, and they're pre-terminated on the rear side of each of these bulkheads. All right, so just stick with me. The reason that's important is because once you install this FDH in the building, let's say down on the ground level, now you got to get the fiber to each floor of the building to all of the tenants. This is a plug and play FDH, so these are 12 fiber MPO connections. This is our indoor mini rapid distribution terminal. Have you seen this yet, Joel?
Only in your little drawing one day, you did it for me.
All right. So this is a 12 fiber terminal that can serve up to 12 business customers. So on each floor of the building, you would install one of these guys and you just wall mount it. And you can see how small this is. It'll serve up to 12 customers, and it's so small, if you've got 15 customers, you just install a second one next to it. That's how small it is. Once you have this mounted on the wall, it's got what's called our rapid technology in there, and it has a 50-foot pre-terminated 12 fiber cable connected to it. So once you mount this thing to the wall, if you would remove that dust cap for me there, that is a 12 fiber MPO connector, and that is a 12 fiber riser rated cable. Mount this to the wall, and you start reeling the cable off. Bring it down your riser conduit shaft in the building, and you would pull it all the way down to where this guy's installed. When you get down to this guy, take the 12 fiber cable, bring it in through one of the grommets up on top, pull it down, remove one of the dust caps inside the FDH, bingo. You've now brought fiber from the FDH up to the floor that this thing is installed in.
How long are those?
So, and then the amount of cable that you don't use, you just coil it back up.
What if you need more cable?
Close it. So this can be ordered with up to 1,000 feet of cable. So pictures are worth 1,000 words.
4,000 feet.
All right. So if you were to order this with up to 1,000 feet, this is how it will arrive from the factory. You would have 950 feet spooled on this external spool. The terminal itself is shipped inside the spool there. So you just lift off the cardboard cover and you remove the mini RDT. 50 feet is housed within the terminal, and 950 feet is housed on this external spool. So you would pull this first, and then the last 50 feet gets pulled from the terminal. And you can order this in lengths of 100 feet, 200 feet, 300, all the way up to 1,000. So the thought here, guys, is to make it as plug and play as possible, so that when you fiber up that building, you don't have to worry about doing any splicing. Everything is purely connectorized. And again, this is riser rated cable, and you can go a long ways with 1,000 feet. I mean, how many levels can you go with
I think
1,000?
we're thinking like 80 or something, right?
80 levels.
80 stories.
80 stories?
15 feet per story. So that
Okay, yeah, we don't even have any.
maybe
No.
70.
Yeah,
Here.
you can go a long ways with one of these guys. And like I said, it'll serve 12 customers. So on the day of service, when the customer, any one of those tenants on that floor order service, you would run a drop cable from the customer's O&T, and you would plug it into the specific port as assigned by the service order. You can see how there's, fiber management here on the bottom to keep all of those incoming drop cables neatly organized and sealed as well. Plug and play.
Do all of the inside ones have that back, with the MPO stuff on the back?
You would order it that way.
Okay.
So you can order this FDH in different ways. You
Okay.
can order it where the outputs are MPOs, as I just demonstrated, and the inputs would be ordered with either a pre-terminated 100-foot cable stub, or where you would bring your own cable in and splice directly into the FDH.
Okay.
Or the outputs could be ordered, if you didn't want to go this route for some reason, the outputs could be ordered where you bring your own cable in and splice in, or you can order this with a pre-terminated output cable as well, 25 feet long. So different ways.
Cool.
But and if you want to fiber up a building very quickly, plug and play,
Yeah.
great way
So
to go.
one more time from the back MPO, this here, this goes,
So this is a 12 fiber connection,
yep,
and it's pre-terminated on the back side to this bulkhead right here.
To that-
That 12 fiber bulkhead,
okay, cool.
all right? So when the installer gets his service order, the service order will tell him to grab a pigtail of whatever splitter he's coming off of, and it'll tell him what port to connect to, and that port corresponds to the corresponding port
Sure.
here.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a way to wire up a building really quick.
Yeah.
Plug and play. So Chicago is another one that likes this product.
Yeah.
So like I said, you can order in different ways, but I have a particular fondness for the Mini Rapid because it's just a great, easy way to wire up that building easily.
So if you have 50 feet extra off that reel or something like that, is there gonna be the space inside the cabinet too?
You would store it in
Or you
here.
would you'd still be able to do 50 feet in there?
You can do 50
Okay.
feet
There's a
in here.
little bit of room
If
in
you do
here.
more than 50 though, then you could maybe.
There's a little bit of room in here to do that, but
Okay.
obviously you
Because
max it out.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'd figure out every floor and how to order specifically. It'd be hard to, you'd almost have to do building to building, and I'd rather maybe just have multiple options, I guess. And maybe that's the way of doing it, is just
Yeah,
a bunch of different lengths.
It's hard to
do a
build
site
that
survey.
precise. You could probably
Yeah.
put some of it inside the
Okay.
hub, especially in the bigger hubs.
That's cool.
Also, go to this.
Yeah, so, you can go a long ways with 1,000 feet, 80 levels, so they really wouldn't use this.
Well, let me suggest it. If I got 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This is how they built files, and when they couldn't do the connectivity in the hub, they would pull these collectors, and they have tails up to 300 feet. It's got the same MPO bulkhead that's in the back of this, except it's here. So you would splice this in, and you would take this up to the 10th, 20th floor, and then you
You
would
would
pull
splice
these
that in where?
into the hub.
Okay.
And then you would plug your mini RDTs into this. And that's
Ah.
kind of how they built, but that doesn't save you any splicing in the building, because you still gotta splice this, right?
Sure.
And we don't really promote it that way now, but my suggestion or thought is, or what I want to put out there for you is, if you're in a smaller building and you still want to do plug and play capability, but your hub's sitting outside in the right of way, you could take this and put this on the ground floor of the telco closet, wherever, take this out, splice it in the right of way, and maybe it's feeding off of one of these hubs. Who knows what hub it is, but it's outside, right? Maybe you share a hub with 2 different buildings. You can take this in, and now you can do plug and play inside of that building if you suspect you need to put 72 fibers in there, or 48 fibers. You could make that building plug and play the same way, just by putting this in the equipment room and taking this out to your right of way.
How many outputs does that have?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just right, it's the 72 fiber. So, you know, if you needed more, you'd have to place 2 of these, but that'd be one way to get the plug and play that Roberto's talking about. Stretch it out a little farther if you
Sure.
got a hub outside.
Yeah.
Or a below grade hub, you know, whatever it's going back to, that would still give you that plug and play.
Okay.
All right, we got 10 more minutes, guys?
Yeah.
All right.